Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So it seems that Kyle Rittenhouse has been hammered by the federal judge. And to point some things out, this is pretty much saying coming from the mere fact that Rittenhouse is, being under fire by multiple of these lawsuits. It's not really seem to be quite good in this aspect. And along the lines where we come from here is that we get to see the ability that the far left kind of go out and try to paint Kyle as a bad person when it's not really true. Most of the time is that they're being told or lied by the media, or they are getting the wrong type of information, which is being printed by the media. And trying to talk to these people is almost mute because they kind of repeat same thing as NPCs without any critically thinking, and most of the time they never actually watch the court case that actually happened, or rather the trial. I know I have watched it in full, and I have more information on this, so we'll be going over it. Federal judge allows lawsuit against Kyle Rittenhouse to proceed. A federal judge in Wisconsin on Wednesday ruled that a wrongful death lawsuit filed by the father of a man shot and killed by Kyle Rittenhouse during a protest in 2020 and can proceed against Rittenhouse, police officers, and others. The father of Anthony Huber and one of two men shot and killed by Rittenhouse filed a lawsuit in 2021 accusing officers of allowing for a dangerous situation that violated his son's constitutional rights and resulted in his death. Anthony Huber's John Huber also alleged that Rittenhouse was 17 at the time of the shootings and conspired with law enforcement to cause harm to protesters. John Huber is seeking unspecified damages from city officials, officers, and Rittenhouse. U.S. District Judge Lynn Adelman on Wednesday dismissed motions filed by Rittenhouse and the government defendants seeking to dismiss the civil lawsuit. In allowing the case against Rittenhouse and the others to proceed, the judge said that the Huber's death could possibly be regarded as have been probably caused by the actions of the federal government's defendants. Now, the one thing I would say is that from one of the cases is accusing officers of allowing for a dangerous situation that violates the constitutional rights, which I would kind of agree in the sense that, yeah, in that some situation, the government or somebody along the lines did allow the protests or the riots to happen, which would cause to a lot of these situations to be there. I mean, let's be honest. If the government or the city officials got involved and stopped the riots and stopped the things from happening there, then Kyle Rittenhouse and that whole situation most likely would never have happened. So they caused the issues to happen in per se, and I do believe that some people do need to be involved. Kyle Rittenhouse in this case does not need to be involved. And another thing as well is that they conspired with law enforcement to cause harm to protesters. That's completely asinine, and that's not remotely even completely possible at all. Notice how when you watch the video, Kyle Rittenhouse is easily defending himself in most cases and running away the entire time, and he's getting attacked. So, insane. In allowing the case against Rittenhouse and the others to proceed, the judge said that as we read here, as probably caused by action of the government defendants, is asinine as well. Rittenhouse had argued that the case against him should be dismissed because he wasn't properly served with the lawsuit. Adelman dismissed that, saying that Rittenhouse is almost certainly evading service. I don't see how that's possible. Attorneys and private investigators for John Huber spent over 100 hours trying to locate Rittenhouse, tracking down addresses in 7 states, before they found the home of his mother and sister in Florida. The lawsuit was served on Rittenhouse's sister, who said that he wasn't home. Adelman said that that was sufficient to qualify as being served. Rittenhouse has been deliberately cagey about his whereabouts, Adelman wrote. Although he denies living in Florida, he does not identify the place that he deems to be his residence. So, I don't see how that's a problem. A lot of people don't pretty much allow where their residence is to be held at. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys don't just let random people know where your actual residence is. It's kind of asinine to really think to just allow where your residence is. And by the way, if Kyle Rittenhouse did allow his residence to be, allowed to be in the media or in the public sphere, he would be immediately attacked by any point, by every stretch of the imagine. So, it makes sense to why he wouldn't want his residence, allowed to be seen, and it doesn't matter regardless whether he wanted to or not. Anyways, I mean, everybody has private residency and private information and stuff like that. So be it. Rittenhouse attorneys did not immediately respond to email requests for comment. Attorneys for law enforcement and Kenosha officials sued also did not immediately return email messages. The ruling puts Anthony Huber's family one step closer to justice for their son's needless death. And said, analyst Swanson, one of the attorneys for John Huber and Karen Bloom, parents of Anthony Huber. I will agree with one thing: his son's death was needless. He did not have to attack Kyle Rittenhouse, and Kyle Rittenhouse wouldn't have to defend himself. So yeah, I would say his death was needless in the sense that he attacked Kyle Rittenhouse out of legitimately no actual reason. So yeah, yeah, and that if you want to frame it that way, yes, his death was definitely meaningless. Needless. The Kenosha officials that created a powder keg situation by their actions tried to claim that they cannot be held accountable for their unsexual conduct. That argument was soundly rejected today. So one thing said in a statement, Rittenhouse was charged with homicide, attempted homicide, and reckless endangering for killing Anthony Huber and Joseph Rosenbaum, and wounding a third person with an AR-style semi-automatic rifle in the summer of 2020 during a tumultuous night of protest over the shooting of a black man, James Blake, by a white Kenosha police officer. It was not a night of protest. It was a night of riots. When you start setting things on fire, breaking stuff, and all that, it does not become a protest. It becomes a riot. So there's a clear difference here. Another lie by this shady article, obviously. Rittenhouse was acquitted of all charges in November 2021 after testifying he acted in self-defense, which he did. Rittenhouse's actions became a flashpoint in the debate over guns, vigilantism, and racial injustice in the U.S. Well, I like how they try to put in racial here, and as I guess as kind of a racial thing. It was not a racial thing. It was a thing that happened to be not racial at all. The media just tried to portray that as being racist, and everybody ate that up without doing any type of research or even watching the trial at all. There was no, as far as I know, the only person that really brought up racism at all was the district attorney or prosecutor in that matter, which again, that followed flat. Rittenhouse went to Kenosha from his home in the nearby Antioch, Illinois, after businesses were ransacked and burned in the nights that followed Blake's shooting, which again contradicts your saying of a protest because businesses being ransacked and burned is not a protest; it's a riot. But contradicting yourself as always. He joined other armed civilians on the streets carrying a weapon authorities said was illegally purchased for him because he was underage. This is again incorrect, but this is by Kyle's. This was by Kyle's friend, which legally purchased a firearm and temporarily gave the firearm to Kyle Rittenhouse. This is a lie in this article, and they know this. They're just not being truthful at all. They're lying about it. Rittenhouse first killed Rosenbaum, 36, in the parking lot of an auto dealership. As Rittenhouse ran from the scene, he stumbled and fell. Anthony Huber, 26, shot Rittenhouse with a skateboard and tried to disarm him. Rittenhouse fell to the ground and shot Anthony Huber to death and wounded demonstrator Gage Scorchers, 27. This is one of the several ongoing civil lawsuits filed in the wake of the shootings. Scorchers last year filed a similar lawsuit against Rittenhouse, which I think, by the way, was dismissed, but I could be wrong about that. So here's the one thing that we have here as well, is that when they said, when they got this part here wrong, it's a bit mixed up, actually. So when they're talking about when Rittenhouse stumbled and fell, he essentially what ended up happening was that Anthony Huber attacked Rittenhouse in the head with a skateboard, and he stumbled and fell because of being attacked by Anthony Huber with the skateboard. In fact, Rittenhouse, with an interview with Nick Rekieta, he came out and saying that he actually has a bump on his head because of the attack from Anthony Huber. Take a look at the clip.
Yeah. Something like PTSD? Do you get scared in crowds? Like what how does this affect you?
Absolutely. I have PTSD. I have constant migraines. I have a dent in the back of my head.
It's from hitting the pavement?
From getting hit in the back of the head with the skateboard.
Oh, from the skateboard. Wow. Because see, don't take this the wrong way, but the skateboard hit on video doesn't look that bad, right? Like, because the way the video plays out and it's grainy, it kind of looks like it just kind of glances over you. So to me, it's really interesting. And you guys didn't play up in the trial that you have an actual dent in the back of your head with the skateboard. Yeah. I don't remember that fact coming out.
No, I don't think we talked about it much.
So yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse had more than just one typical injury. So, anyways, another thing is too is I think this is more of a nefarious way to just strip Kyle Rittenhouse of his funds and stuff because I don't think they're gonna actually just win this trial outright. I think Kyle Rittenhouse has a good chance of actually just winning this, but kind of knowing that the judge did not allow this to just didn't dismiss this because he's been deemed innocent as another from a previous trial, but this trial he's being punished for it, which makes no sense. So yeah, I think the asinine stuff is happening here. I not really a fan of it, but yeah, I think this is trying to ruin Kyle's life, try to trick him out of his funds, make him pretty much be poor, and it's completely stupid. Hopefully we can be able to hopefully Kyle Rittenhouse can pull through this, get over his lawsuits, and maybe live a normal or a semi-normal life without having to be constrained and attacked by the media and far leftists for a continuous amount of time. We all dropped it and let go of the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff. Why can't they? All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share, and as always, take care.